As I was looking to make it easier to manage my over 1 acre yard, I looked into several different kinds of lawn maintenance, including paying a lawn care service, getting one of those automated robots that mow by themselves, or perhaps making things much faster by getting a riding mower, like an electric zero-turn or tractor. But eventually, I ended up buying the Mowrator S1, a remote-controlled lawnmower that, while not automated, is actually much more than just a mower. So why did I choose the Mowrator S1 over those other solutions? Well, there were 8 main considerations. Let's start with price. The Mowrator S1 is an expensive machine, I can't deny. The 2-wheel drive version costs around $2,250 on sale, while the 4-wheel drive model has 3 different wheel options, with the cheapest coming in around $3,400 and the most expensive closer to $4,000. Now, I ended up spending closer to $6,000 after tax and a 10% off coupon, as I opted to get a variety of accessories as well, including the most expensive grip tread tires that supposedly can do 50-degree slopes, a tow hitch, the auto dumping collection bag, the snowplow kit, and even the first-person view camera and monitor system. More on why I got those in a bit. But if you compare just the base unit price to the other 3 options, it is actually comparable and possibly on the lower end. When I paid for lawn service, it cost me $400 per month, which comes out to $4,800 a year before taxes. And during the winter months, they hardly did anything at all, even though I had to keep paying. An electric zero-turn like the Ryobi ZR3 starts at $4,000, but add the bagging kit and you're looking at $4,700. The Ego Z6 with e-steer that I was considering cost $5,300 when on sale, and adding the bagging kit brings it up to $6,000. And the best autonomous robot option I found, the Mamotion Luba 3, is indeed the cheapest at just under $3,000 for the 1.25 acre model. And I almost ended up getting the Luba 3, but decided not to, which leads into consideration number 2, power. An autonomous robot mower seems like a great idea that would save a lot of time, and indeed if I had a different yard that was smaller, or didn't have as many trees, or as much uneven rocky ground, then I probably would have gotten one. But the main problem with most of these autonomous robot mowers is that they don't have real mowing blades. They use razor blades to trim the grass, which is fine for normal grass that you cut often on clean yards. But my yard is really rocky terrain with many pits, and I would always end up cutting some rocks each time I mow, although I am trying to remove them over time. There's also lots of tall grass that I had to tackle, and these autonomous mowers wouldn't be able to do that with their razor blades. There is one exception. The Limo 1 Plus is another $3,000 plus autonomous mower that has smaller but real mowing blades. However, the navigation tech it uses is RTK, which requires setting up a base station, and there were reports that it doesn't work that well under large amounts of trees, which my property has plenty of. The Mamotion Luba 3 has the newer NetRTK and LiDAR techs, which is better and could solve some of these issues. But again, it doesn't have real mower blades. Perhaps if the Limo 2 came out with LiDAR, that would be a good choice, but unfortunately, it doesn't exist yet. But even if it did, the third consideration makes it hard for me to choose any of these autonomous robot companies, and that is reliability and customer support. During my investigations into companies like Mamotion and Limo, it became painfully obvious that pretty much all of the ones making autonomous robots have terrible customer support. There are tons of Facebook and forum posts about customers who have issues with these mowers and the company being unresponsive or not helping them. Now, that's not to say that Mowrator is necessarily top-notch in customer support. However, I didn't see too many issues that were unresolved, perhaps partly due to it not being an autonomous mower with all that fancy tech, so there are less things that can break. Also, the Mowrator itself is built like a tank, so it seems like it'll be much more durable than those automated robots. For riding mowers, if there's an issue, it seems like I would need to somehow transport it to a service center to get it fixed, which is something I can't really do since I only have a Tesla Model Y car. Since the Mowrator is small, it is much more easy to transport it in case something goes wrong. But even if these autonomous robot mowers were perfect in reliability and customer support, there are a few other considerations I had that would cause me not to choose them. The fourth consideration is leaf pickup. During the fall, because there are so many tall trees on and surrounding my property, I get a ton of leaves falling. That was one of the reasons I hired a lawn care service in the first place, to deal with the leaves. And while they did an okay job at it, they didn't take the time to remove all the leaves, but pushed many of them underneath various trees in the yard and just left them there. An autonomous mowing robot like the Luba 3 won't handle leaf pickup. They simply aren't designed for it, since they can't suction up the leaves without a real mowing blade. A riding mower would be able to handle leaf pickup, and with a larger deck size compared to the Mowrator, I've no doubt that it would be able to do it quicker as well. However, you would need to get the backing kit, and you would need to get off the mower, empty the bag, and put it back manually. With the Mowrator's auto dumping bag, the premise is that you could collect the leaves and dump them without having to touch anything at all other than the remote. I've not yet gone through a leaf season with the Mowrator, so I'll need to test out how well it works when it comes time. But this possibility is one of the reasons I didn't get an automated robot. If you've been enjoying this video so far, I'd appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up to let me know. Now let's go on to the next reason. One of the major reasons I didn't get a riding mower is consideration 5, slopes and small spaces. On my property, the various trees often have low branches that hang down, making getting underneath to mow quite a hassle. I often get poked on the arm or head. Imagine trying to bring a riding mower into these spaces. I don't think it would turn out well. In addition, I mentioned that my property is quite rocky, and some of this uneven terrain surround these trees. But the main terrain I'm concerned with is this crevice or tiny river near the front of the property. When it rains, it collects the rainwater, but when it's dry, there's a lot of tall grass forming all over it. I wanted to get something that could mow into the crevice and the slope surrounding it, and I don't think a riding mower would work. I feel like it would be really dangerous to try to drive around it. Enter the Mowrator. One of the reasons I got the grip tread tires instead of the normal tires was for this purpose. It has the ability to cut the grass while going into, out of, and around the crevice, which is really nice. And while an autonomous robot may be capable of entering the crevice, I'm not sure how well it will do at getting out. And I don't think it would do a great job at cutting the long grass there after a rain. If anything, I'd probably want to set it as a no-go zone to have it avoid plunging into the water. Now, consideration 6 is another potential one I won't have the chance to test out until several months later. Snow shoveling. Although I live in the Pacific Northwest, where it doesn't snow too often, it does tend to snow a couple times a year, sometimes with a significant amount. Last winter, I remember shoveling the driveway as well as the roadway immediately outside, and I was so tired and hyperventilating. Maybe I need to get into better shape. But when I found out that the Mowrator had a snow shovel attachment and could be a snowplow, I decided I wanted to give it a try. So I ordered the snowplow, and the hope is this winter I won't have to break my back to shovel snow. This is certainly something the lawn care service and automated robots don't seem to be capable of. And while riding mowers do have snowplow attachments, as I mentioned, I wouldn't be able to transport a riding mower to help my parents shovel the snow at their house, something that might be possible with the Mowrator. But the snowplow apparently isn't just useful for shoveling snow, which leads into half of consideration 7, the ability to push and pull things. With the snowplow, it seems possible to push debris, mulch, or whatever else is in front of the machine. On the other hand, the tow hitch accessory allows you to hook things up behind the Mowrator to pull them along. I envision using this to carry some heavy things around the yard, such as fallen tree sections, heavy bags of mulch, or even for fun to pull around some kids' wagons, although that could also be done by other toy cars. I saw some videos of the Mowrator apparently able to pull along an entire car, so this thing really seems to be powerful. I'll need to test out some of its capabilities before I can say for sure how useful this will be. But the automated lawn robots don't seem like they can push or pull anything. And finally, consideration 8 is that the Mowrator makes mowing the lawn, or picking up leaves, or shoveling snow a heck of a lot more fun. At the end of the day, it's like controlling an RC car. If you're willing to drive around an RC car for fun, why not get the yard cleaned up at the same time? Heck, even my 6-year-old daughter has been wanting to use it every time she sees me mowing. Maybe I'll be able to outsource this mowing job sooner than I think. Sure, hiring a service or using an autonomous robot means you don't need to spend the time to do the lawn work and can instead do something else more fun. But I've heard that with the robot, you'll probably need to spend more time on setup, troubleshooting, and maintenance, rescuing the robots when they get stuck, and basically being a manager or caretaker, which isn't exactly fun. Even though a riding mower might get the job done in less time due to its larger deck size and could also be fun to drive around, you do still need to be on the machine and can't go everywhere, especially on dangerous slopes or crevices. Getting poked by short tree limbs probably isn't very fun either. The Mowrator also has an optional FPV, or first-person view, attachment, which is a camera mounted on the device that feeds an image to a monitor that you mount on the remote. This lets you see where the machine is going without having to be near it or have line of sight. And in theory, that means you could be inside while mowing the lawn on a hot day or even when the weather is bad. Now, the FPV camera is really quite expensive, but I decided to get it with the discounted snowplow bundle and give it a try as well. I'll have to see if it's really worth the money or if it indeed makes things easier. So those are the 8 main reasons I chose the Mowrator S1 as a do-it-all machine over an autonomous mowing robot, a riding mower, or hiring out lawn care service. If you agree or disagree with any of them, please let me know in the comments. I'll be testing out the Mowrator and all its accessories over the coming days as well, so let me know if you have any specific questions I can answer. And subscribe so you don't miss those videos. Lastly, I do have a referral link to the Mowrator S1 in the description in case you're interested in learning more about it or buying one yourself. Anyone can sign up for a referral link, and Mowrator certainly did not sponsor this video, ask me to make it, or send me anything for free. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.